Hello, namaste, bonjour, alhan and hola.
Good morning, good afternoon and good evening everyone. I am Shruti.
And I am Pawan and we will be your host and ghost for today's event.
Well Pawan, I am the host of this event. I don't know about you. Jokes apart, we did extremely well in H1 and I am sure we all will continue to do our best in H2 as well. Welcome to WeRISE H2. I am so thrilled and excited to be a part of this event.
So am I, Shruti. We have a great agenda and leaders coming up to talk about the journey of WeRISE H2. So are you all excited?
Indeed Pawan, I am extremely excited and I am sure you all are too. So if you are excited, please let us know in the chat box. Well, Pawan, I can see a lot of responses in the chat box and I'm sure they all are also excited, not just you and me.
Absolutely. And without further ado, let's start with this entire event of WeRISE H2. Our first speaker is going to be Mr. Anand Agarwal, who is the Vice President for our Emerging Markets International Business. Anand Agarwal is going to talk about is how and what we have achieved in our H1 and what is the store for us for H2. So can we all hear for Mr. Anand Agarwal?
Hello everyone, congratulations. Yes, you did it again. And with your performance, it reminds me a quote which says that we are what we repeatedly do. Then success is not just an act, but a habit. Yes, EMDTM has delivered $43 million revenue for YTD September of this financial year, and with a phenomenal growth of 40% and 110% achievements. It's a great leap and I would like to accolade each one of you for the same. On a primary number side, we delivered 50 million. Yes, our growth in primary is not as we did in secondary, but that is because of we lost some of the business standards. Some of our business B2B partners has not performed as they should be, as well as the forex, the currency has devalued. But I look forward that our H2 will cover some of these deficits with higher secondary growth, with consistent performance on the secondary what we delivered in H1. And I look forward and I am confident just because you all are there. This performance would not complete if I don't like to recognize some of the leaders as well as their team who outshined in H1. Yes, Sri Lanka with Azam and Aklanka and the whole team below made a phenomenal performance. In Morocco, Jana with Alish. In Malaysia, Kushagra. In Colombia, Gaurav, who delivered beyond the budgets. I should not be forget in Algeria, where Abdel and the team had outshined their number in H1. What gives me a confidence of this performance is this performance is consistent. Yes, last 10 quarters, on every quarter we outshined the previous quarter. And this quarter we have delivered ever highest growth of 44% and ever highest revenue of 23 millions. I think it has never happened in history of DTM. And that's what gives me an immense confidence that we will outshine H2. What is more encouraging that this performance is not just internally, but externally. We have outshined the market. We have done a market beating growth. Our evolution index stands at 102. That tells us that we have outshined competition as well as the market. My success will be incomplete if I don't recognize the efforts that marketing team has placed in making the success of these therapy areas higher. Yes, respiratory with Tushar, Viraj and Shruti and the whole team, and with Dr. Webber's help of medicals, we could outshine the number in respiratory. Our market share has also gained in some of the countries. Thank you, team marketing. In chronic, there also we have delivered a double-digit healthy growth. And I would like to recognize Devdutt and Swarit for their contribution towards it. I must not forget the cross-functions team who help us achieving these numbers. Their untired efforts, their tireless performance has helped us to ensure that we get supplies. Yes, I am talking about our business planning team, Archana and her team, Roselyn, Neil, Praful, Mitali. I think they did very well to ensure our stocks and inventory in place. I would also like to recognize Deepali, Ravi for their efforts to ensure our accounts remain in shape and we remain profitable. Whenever we sleep, they remind us. I would also like to recognize my HR partner, Priyanka, who always remain on her toes to ensure that your difficulties are solved at an urgent basis and ensuring that our tests of vacancy to any process of HR should not get deviated. Thank you. At the end of my presentations, I would like to reiterate what I did it in last WeRISE, that please consistent in demand generations, because the first thing is the demand generation. Create more prescriptions, create more prescribers, create new accounts. Without creating demands, your business will not grow. The first and foremost important point in BTM will be demand creation. The second point is making your brand bigger. Yes, whether it's a new brand or your existing big brands, make brand bigger. The third piece that I would like to communicate to you is no negotiations on the process of business. What I mean to say with the process of business is your doctor coverage, your detailing, your uses of technologies, VMR, DMR, your doctor profiling, recording of their yield as well as the potential. It should be a regular affair and there is no negotiations. You should not miss it. It's like daily activity like brushing your teeth. Your process is a non-negotiable asset. And last thing, keep a close watch on your competition because they will tell you what is happening in the market. Don't miss them. You have to outshine them. So just to repeat, build high demands through generating more prescription, account and the prescriptions, making your brands bigger, no negotiation on the process that you have, as well as ensuring that you outshine your competition. And these are the 4 pillars that I am looking forward from each one of you. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward for a phenomenal and better second half of the financial year. For any help, anytime you like to suggest anything, please reach out to me. I am just a mail away or a call away. Now I would like to invite Nishant, our CEO of International Business. He would like to say few words about EMDTM.
Hello, my wonderful DTM team. So we are going to celebrate a WeRISE again. And you must celebrate well. Many quarters, almost 6 quarters since you have consistently met your numbers. It's a big kudos to your leaders, people like Jana, people like Azam, people like Nirparaj and everyone else, and of course, Anand and Purnindu and everyone else. Overall, the international markets is doing extremely well. We are supposed to be the incubator of new markets. And what an incubation we have done. Countries like Morocco, which used to be 5-7 million, this year will be 30 million. UK, which always used to be 5-7-10 million, this year will be 25. Australia used to be about 15-20 million, this year it will be 40-50 million. So the few markets that we want to focus on and grow, we are doing significantly. and we have set up the pipeline for the future. We have launched the first biosimilars both in Spain as well as in Australia, and just got approval for adalimumab, world's largest drug, in Australia. Not only that, if you look at our overall numbers, this year we started with a very significant target for our revenues. We said that we will cross 3,000 crore INR because the business was always stagnant at about 2,000, 2,200, and we are well on track to achieve that number. In dollar terms, it doesn't look as good this year because of all the currencies sliding south. As you know, the world is a difficult place, especially the emerging market currencies. So if you exclude the forex impact and some of the challenges in our VUCA countries like Iran and Yemen, the rest of the business is growing very strongly. In fact, H1 we said 16%, probably making it the highest growing business within Cipla on its intrinsic growth. Employees have rewarded us. Our attrition is at an all-time low. I think our attrition is not even 5% or something like that. So good. We are doing well. And you guys are leading us in doing well. Keep the mission alive.
Thank you, Mr. That was very insightful. And I'm sure the entire DTM is excited. And as you said, we will continue to rise in H2 as well.
Absolutely. I resonate with you, Shruti, and completely agree on this. Moving on, we have our next segment from respiratory team. Tushar is going to talk about the global insight of respiratory. He is also going to talk about what we have achieved in H1 in the respiratory segment and what is it in store for us in the H2. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tushar.
Thank you so much. Give it up for our hosts, Shruti and Pawan, who are doing a wonderful job in taking this entire program ahead. So I'm here and I'm very happy to be in front of you, to be a part of this champion team and be part of this excellent event that is the WeRISE slides that we have today. So thank you so much for being here and being tuned onto this. Let me take you through the slides that we have for respiratory. So here I am, and I wanted to tell you something very important that is happening in the world of respiratory. We're all bound by numbers, we're all bound by market share and growth and everything. I thought let's take a minute and look at the updates that are happening in the respiratory world. So here on the slide you can see there are two major updates that are happening. On the left hand side you can see is the development of MABAs. All of you must have heard about the beta-2 agonist or the muscarinic antagonist. But this is a new novel dual bronchodilation therapy that is pretty much coming into the market. And the molecule name is navafenterol. A lot of phase 3, phase 4 research is going on, and that is going to be the future of COPD. And on the right hand side, you can see it's not just about inhalers, it's not just about orals, but there is an important contribution of biologics in the treatment of severe asthma. Whether it is the omalizumab, or whether it is the mepolizumab, or whether it is the benralizumab, the guidelines very importantly say that in stage 5, in the GINA guidelines, there is a definite use of biologics, which is against the oral corticosteroids. So that is a couple of things that I wanted to share about what is happening new in the respiratory world. Now going ahead, this is something which gets a big smile on my face, which says that, are we in the race for global lung leadership? Yes, we are. We're not at the top, we're at number 2, as you can see on the screen. We're still at number 2, but we're growing really well. And the player to beat is GSK. GSK is not growing substantially well. In fact, you can see that the CAGR is a -3%, whereas a Cipla is at a CAGR of 7%. And that gives us an excellent opportunity to dislodge GSK from the first position and become the rightful global lung leader. To go there, we have to see country-wise. And here in the middle part of the screen, you can see that we've done phenomenally well in most of the countries. Algeria, Morocco, Sri Lanka have done significantly better than the market with an evolution index of 105, which is more than 5% basis points over and above the market, and that talks volumes of the efforts that all of you have put in your respective countries. And nothing can happen without brands. Seroflow, which is the biggest brand that we have in the emerging markets, is doing pretty well, but we still want to aim higher. 48% market share is what we are aiming for. We're still at 43%. The next future winner for us is Foracort. We've done pretty well. You can see that, from 31%, we've gone to 35%, and our aspiration is much more. So all you need to remember on this slide is make the brands big, and that's how we will become the rightful global lung leader. Now taking you to the next one. This again also gives a big smile on my faces, and I'm sure on all your faces. Respiratory has continued its excellent form from last year. And there you can see that from an H1 perspective, 6 months we've done significantly well, 110% achievement with a staggering 31% growth. And you can see all the countries have contributed, whether it is Sri Lanka, Algeria, Malaysia, Myanmar, Oman, and Nepal in Q2 specifically has done significantly well and deserves a big mention. So Nepal, great job done. If you see the brands internally, the entire focus brand basket is around 104% achievement with a 22% growth, and you can see most of the brands are doing significantly well. I think one place that we can do significantly well is the new launches. And that's where we see a little bit of lag, and that's where we need to put that extra effort in getting the milestone of the best launch that we can do for respiratory. In the entire H1, there has been some hits, there have been some misses. You can see in the hits, Measure Up campaign that was there for World Asthma Day has been an excellent addition to the celebration of lung leadership that we have. And the second one is the flagship program of Nepal, that is the Gas Bas Kapas Rasas, an excellent addition of digital marketing for respiratory and increasing the awareness in the entire country. There have been some misses, and that's what we have to plug in H2. Spacer program has not been as good as it was in the previous years. The spacers have not been there, or doctors have not taken it up pretty good, but there is always a room for improvement, and that is where H2 becomes exciting enough for us that we should not be doing these kind of misses. From a prescription point of view, you can see in the small graph down there, our aspiration was 15% increase in prescriptions over last year, and you can see in Q1 and Q2, we have been true to that word, and going in Q3 and Q4, we should continue to do it. Let's go to the next one, and here I want to take a minute and applaud all these countries, Team Sri Lanka, Team Morocco, Team Myanmar, Team Malaysia, and Team Algeria. You guys are the ones who have made us really proud, have been more than 100% in the H1. So great job, guys. I want a big round of applause. Let's spend about 10 seconds for giving a big round of applause to all of you guys. Thank you so much. It's because of you that we have been more than 100% for respiratory at an emerging markets level. Now, when we say about our sales team, we should not forget the marketing team that sits inside the countries. There is significant contribution by all these guys. And see on the screen here, we wanted to highlight the efforts of two gentlemen. First is Ramesh, and second is Waji from Morocco. These two guys have gone out of their way to build the digital breathe-free franchise. The GB case has been more than a year and a half old, but Morocco has just started their baby steps, and it is all courtesy to the efforts of Waji and of Ramesh. So let me take some time and applaud the effort of these guys. So thank you so much, Ramesh and Waji, for making this an excellent platform on digital. Now H2, like they say, right? The start is job half done. We are at the 50% mark, and we see that we have done exceptionally well, and we have to continue this tempo going ahead in H2. And on the screen, you can see some graphs. The graph says nothing but what is the split between an H1 and H2. In simple terms, if I take the terminology of cricket, the run rate that we have in H1, is it enough for us in H2, or do we need to stretch a little bit more in terms of getting our target? And there in the table below, you can see that Sri Lanka has been having a healthy H1 average on a monthly basis. From a Nepal, Morocco, Algeria perspective, I think we need to have a little bit of push. going into H2 from a monthly average. And I'm sure the season that comes in, especially in the winter months, we will get that push, but let the pedal on the accelerator not go slow. And that's where we wanted to say that even if it is a 0.06 million incremental that we need in H2, let's go for it. And to help you on that, we have some things that are pretty much in store. We continue with the brand communication. We continue with the brand exposures. Like I said in my previous slide, Spacer program is something that we need to amplify. And to give you an even more boost, we are starting 3-4 things which are pretty much new. First is the digital educator. So taking a cue from our India counterparts, we said that we have about 30-40 breathe-free educators. Why not expand them? And let's get in the digital educator into this entire foray. That's where we thought that digital educator is going to be something new, and that's what we will be starting soon in Nepal. The second is, as you can see, the breathe-free website, which is there in Morocco and Sri Lanka. The aim is to reach maximum people to ensure that people who don't know that they're suffering from respiratory ailments, they should reach to the doctor. Quarter 3 specifically talks about COPD. It's the World COPD Month, and Take Charge is the campaign that we have for World COPD Month. And Respiratory Crossroads, after a hiatus of almost 3 years, we're coming again with Respiratory Crossroads in Paris. A lot of our countries are participating in that. It's going to be a world-class program with world-class speakers coming and having an amalgamation of the 7-8 countries of DTM that are going to be there. So stay tuned on that. There is a power-packed H2 that we have in place. From a new patient generation, like I said, digital breathe-free educator, the Gaz-Bas Kapas that is going to happen in Nepal, the breathe-free initiative that is going to happen in Morocco and Sri Lanka, as well as the Spacer program. So these 3 need to be taken to a great extent in H2. From a knowledge upgradation point of view, BMJ, Inhale, ATS, you can see on the screen that for every country that we have planned something or the other, so that there is a knowledge upgradation for doctors, the second tier of doctors are generated, and that results into increased prescriptions for respiratory. From a disease diagnosis perspective, we have the COPD clinics, the AR centers, and the Take Charge. Nepal, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, and Morocco, these are the guys who are going to take charge or take the baton ahead for the disease diagnosis. So stay tuned for that. I want each and every update from all of you in this endeavor of getting the global lung leadership with improving disease diagnosis. And this is basics, this is the basics of marketing, and that's communication. All of you have received excellent communication from the entire team, the central marketing team, including Shruti, Viraj, the regional brand managers, who put in a lot of effort so that you get that communication of each brand into the minds of the doctors, and that helps in the mind share of doctors, whether it is the PMDI versus DPI, which is there for Seroflow, as well as for Furacort, or for the nasal sprays, or Tiova or Astelin. Communication becomes extremely key, and I want all of you to emphasize on this brand exposures as you go ahead. Now this is the entire plan. Okay, now it all boils down to this number. For each country, we have more than 200, 300 doctors engagement that is planned in H2. There is a digital in terms of HSS and Cipla Medflix that is planned in H2. There is the Inhale program, the Spacer program, the AR centers, the COPD clinics, the ATS, the BMJ, the digital educator. Whatever you want, whatever you need for H2, I think we have it all here, and we just pray that the execution is 100%, and we will be ensured that we will be 100% plus with a significant growth at the end of H2. So each of you, please have a look at this slide and see that every country, every doctor that you plan, you need to keep a watch in terms of the ROI, and that's how you will ensure that the ROI is there for you. Take a note of this if you want, take a photograph of this. Each and every doctor counts for us. And next is the Global Respiratory Plan Yearly Planner. Yearly planner is something that we've planned very much in advance, and that's where all the efforts also significantly go in, whether it is the international conference, whether it is a central initiative, whether it is a Cipla own CME, be it anything. You can see the staggering number of doctors, 3,200 in Morocco, 700 in Algeria, more than 2,000 in Nepal, 883 in Sri Lanka, 500, 200 and 590 in Myanmar, Malaysia and Oman. So H2 is exciting. I am very excited, and I hope all of you are excited to get in that 100% achievement. And I get you to my last slide, and I wanted to leave you with this last slide with only 4 messages. First is increase prescription over the FY22 base, nothing but 15%. Just keep that number in mind. 15% increase in prescription is what we are looking at. New launches. Imagine new launches is our next growth lever. And if we don't do very well in the new launch, somewhere we have failed our own organization, right? So I want you to take up the new launches, and here in Malaysia, we're getting Cip Healer, in Morocco, we are getting Asselin. Let's put all our might behind and make sure that these are the best launches that even the industry has seen. From a focus product exponential growth perspective, Seroflow, Foracort, Tiova, Fluticasone nasal spray or the Mometazone nasal spray, these continue to remain our focus brands. And you can see the growths on the screens. And these are the growths that we all aspire to have for getting that global lung leadership. And finally, the customer expansion and new patient generation. All the efforts that we took in the previous 2 slides, please remember the doctor, the patient, and the pharmacy are at the center of this entire universe of achievement of 100% that we can take. So with that, I come to the end of my presentation, but the energy level will not go down. And going ahead, we have a wonderful panel discussion with very eminent speakers from our country. So let me invite them to the stage. Our champion from Morocco, Waji. And I want to ask him something very interesting. Tiova and Foracort have been one of the best launches in Morocco, in fact, one of the best launches in the industry. So what are the efforts that they have taken, and what are their aspirations going ahead? So I would like to hear that, Waji, from you. Over to you, Waji.
Yes, Tushar. So Tiova and Foracort were launched simultaneously and were undertaken by 2 separate teams. This was an important move that helped teams stay focused and allowed both brands grow, especially with Saflu being the fixed combination market leader. So for Tiova, it's a case study of how crucial is pricing in brand management. COPD market in Morocco is very sensitive to affordability. We understood this and reduced treatment cost by 36%. Tiova then became market leader after only 1 year of its launch and gaining market share month on month. For Foracort, it's another story of positioning, being the most recommended combination by the latest international guidelines. We have decided to proceed differently and start by installing the brand within the classic maintenance treatment strategy, then gradually introduce the maintenance and relief treatment approach to raise adoption among PMDI prescribers. Foracort today is on a positive trend and continuously gaining market share.
That's very interesting, Waji. Thank you for that, and that will give us a lot of insights for the new launches in the remaining part of the emerging world. So thank you so much. So now I would like to invite the champion from Nepal, that is Ramesh, onto this entire panel discussion. So can we have Ramesh? Wonderful. So Ramesh and Waji, both of you are in the market where you are the leaders, right? And as leaders, it is our responsibility to expand the market. So I want to hear from you, Ramesh and Waji, that in Nepal and Morocco, what is it that you guys are doing to expand the market? Over to you guys.
Cipla in Nepal serving the respiratory ill patient since last 3 decades. There are many studies was published which indicate that the prevalence of COPD and the asthma was very high. One of the study I can recall was NHRC study, which indicate that the prevalence of COPD was almost 12% and one of the top leading cause of the death. With the Cipla philosophy, caring for life, and as a leader in the respiratory therapy, we initiate the respiratory awareness campaign known as GAS, BAS, KAPAS and SAS, which means there is no point of having food, shelter and clothing without healthy breathing. With the collective effort of Cipla Nepal and HO team, we are able to reach more than 9 million population across the length and breadth of the country. This kind of success emphasizes us more to do for the patient. And we already geared up with much bigger and exciting second episode of GAS Pass, KAPAS and SAS campaign. Definitely, this will expand the respiratory market in a bigger way. And I would like to thank you entire Nepal team to support and lead the campaign this much success. Additionally, selling medicine is not only the objective for us. Rational use of inhalers are also equally important. To keep that objectives in mind, we are soon launching the digital educator program, which will help better doctor-patient connection and better disease management. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, Ramesh, for that answer. I hope and give you all my best and luck for you to get that endeavor of expanding the market. So going to Waji, you tell me that in Morocco, Cipla continues to be one of the leaders in the respiratory therapy. How are you expanding the market? How are you making sure that the entire pie of the market is increasing? Over to you, Waji.
New patient generation is an important growth lever for Cipla respiratory business in Morocco in FY23. And it is one of our top priorities in upcoming months. So we are leading several differentiated initiatives, mainly to raise awareness on respiratory conditions and educate patients on Cipla devices use. Super clerk program, spacer program are some examples of interventions that include patients as well as healthcare professionals, with a special mention to Morocco Breast-Free website that has just been launched, and that would definitely be a real boost for our patient reach and get more diagnosed patients to expand respiratory market.
Great. Thank you so much, Waji, and all the very best in that effort for expanding the market in Morocco. Thank you so much. So there was a discussion that I had. Then I had a panel discussion where Waji and Ramesh came and gave their views. Now I want to reach out to you. And here comes the poll question. All of us have been discussing the lung leadership on this platform. So the question for you is this. When do you think Cipla is going to attain global lung leadership? And your options are, first one, within this financial year, FY23. Option number 2, in the next year, in FY24. Or maybe a little bit more time. Option number C, in FY25. You can see the options on your screen. Please vote right now. And the verdict is on the screen. The poll results you can see, our aspiration to become the global lung leader is on your screen. Thank you so much for participating in this poll.
That was impressive. Thank you, Tushar, Waji, and Ramesh for taking us through the entire plan of respiratory and what we are going to achieve in H2.
Well, looking at the plan, Pawan, I think I'm going to be very busy in H2. All thanks to Tushar and Purnendu.
I see you rolling your eyes, Shruti.
Let's move on to our next segment. So we have Devdutt coming up with his take on cardiology and neurology. Over to you, Devdutt.
Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to this WeRISE meeting. Thank you, Shruti and Pawan, you have been doing a great job. After a respiratory session, I think you all are excited for what is there in stores in cardiology and urology. So friends, let me unveil what's the plan for H2 and going forward. I am sure that my slides are clearly visible to all of you. Let's see what is in the stores for all of us. But let me also take pride to share with you that we are in full steam as a team, and there's a lot of good work which has gone by in H1. What is that H1 which makes it so special? So starting with our vision, I think right for last 3 years we have seen one vision, and the vision is to become or to grow as the fastest therapy in emerging markets. What are our 5 big bets which we have taken to build upon are hypertension, lipids, diabetes, BPH and heart failure, friends. Our strategy has been real simple, that we want to play to win, but targeting doctor, engaging and converting them. So these are our 5 big bets which we want to build as the year goes forward, and this are the 5 segments which are driving globally cardiology and urology as such. Let's look at the number trajectory, how we performed in H1, and I think I must give credit to every one of you who are watching this, that we have done some fabulous work, and all credits to you. H1, if you see, all countries, whether it's Sri Lanka, Nepal, Myanmar, Malaysia, have done their own part, and Sri Lanka has been leading from front with a YTD achievement of 140%. Nepal slightly sluggish in Q1, but remarkable recovery in Q2, and we are standing at 80 to 83% of the budget achievement. Malaysia is coming back very strongly because now things are moving in action, and Myanmar has been on a driver's seat with 123% budget achievement. So good performance. H1 looks very formidable, but it's too early to celebrate. On the right side of my screen, if you see our focus brand, which contribute to almost to 80 to 90% of the budget, seems very much on track. Friends, only 2 brands need your attention. One is Atolip, and second is Cresar AM. If we plug in these brands, I think our focus brand will be on track and will be ending up on a high. H1, if you see from new launch point of view, we have given a fabulous Ditor in Sri Lanka. I think in my career, I've seen one of the finest launch, credited to Threndu, Sajid, Akalanka and the team. The way you have taken this brand is an exemplary for every one of us. So one new launch is in front of us. We want to make it big. 2 are coming to your line in H2. Sitagliptin comes in Sri Lanka. Rozugard we're planning to launch in Nepal. So I think this makes really formidable portfolio in Nepal and Sri Lanka. Coming to, if we reflect our H1, I think these are beautiful stories. You see 4 chapters, we talk of awareness, doctor engagement, new launches, patient generation. This is your work, guys. I mean, from nowhere to somewhere and everywhere. This is what Cipla team has done in your individual market, starting from World Hypertension Day to World Heart Day. We have every story to chew upon. Look at the amount of awareness you have done at different chapters. Doctor engagement in various forms which have gone by. I think LEAP meetings, ESC, Twin D meetings, 3D meetings, Echo workshop. I mean, they are taking the nation, they are taking countries on a storm. Ditor launch, which is a case study in itself. But I think this are all beautiful moments to see as a reflection of H1 in cardio and urology. Patient generation is yet another exciting channel whereby I am seeing that lot of lipid camps are initiated, lot of starter kits have been rolled out, and these are some happy customers who have generated prescription, and you see new patient generation happening in full swing. Looking at the story, who are the people behind these stories? I think we should give a big round of applause to all these people. I must confess that these are the guys who have really made difference. Let's take Myanmar as such. These are the categories who have achieved 100% overall budget as far as H1 is concerned. So big kudos to the team. From Nepal, we have selected these 2 people, Nirmal Dumre and Dharmanand Giri, who have achieved their budget for Cresar and Ditor. Xbira has been a calling card in Malaysia, and Chan Muan has been the highest seller of Xbira. So good job, guys. And the next slide is going to give you all goosebumps. Look at the number of performers. And from our #1 region, Sri Lanka, a lot of people have achieved their budget in Team 1 and Team 2. On the bottom side, you see Ditor, which is the flagship launch we have just done 3-4 months back. You have Rasanjana, Chamal, Komodo, who are the highest seller of Ditor. Not to forget about diabetes franchise, Amphogen, again Rasanjana, Tharandu, Tharakam, Udaya, Buddhika are the highest seller of Amphogen and have been on the budget. How can we forget about Zart and Urimax? So we have 3 champions who have been the leading the show from the front with Kasun, Madhu, Shankar, and Ashan. And please forgive me that I cannot take all names because there are plenty. But I think this picture sums it all. And together as a team, if we unite and if we have one motto, I think this screen will fill with a lot of contributors, be it Malaysia, Myanmar, or Sri Lanka, or Nepal. So well done, team. And I once again request to give a big round of applause to the champions. And well done. What has been our core strategy this year? I think our core strategy stands on 4 pillars. We wanted to target a 20%, 21% growth, followed by 15% prescription growth on focus and potential brands. Second, on our new launch trajectory, we are targeting 6 to 8% market share and 15% prescriber growth when it comes to our customer prescriber base expansion. I think there is a good progress we have made, and 15% growth in prescription on the last year base. As a reflection, what has been our actual of H1? I think we have a strong growth of 76.5% on our budget part, which is a tremendous point. As far as our new launches are concerned, Cresar AM, we have captured 3.9% on a tune of 4% market share, which is in line to our aspiration for the year. Amphogen, we have captured 5% in Sri Lanka. Ditor is yet to write a story, but I think the early trend for last 3 months have been very encouraging, and the team is doing a great job. Our prescriber growth for the till YTD August is 6.8%, so somewhere we are a little short as far as H1 or overall year aspirations concerned, but I'm sure that as the time progresses, we'll cover this deficit. New launch, I think 37% YTD growth is what reflected, and we can take it a little bit higher and line to our budget achievement. Okay, how does the market look like? Because we have talked enough on internal performance, but the market mirror looks like this, guys. And I think if you have to focus on this, focus on the evolution index, where you see out of all major brands, we have a lot of greens, which is a good sign that our brand is in a healthy state and we are selling more than the competition. So this is a good sign. But 3 places where you have to keep an eye, which needs an attention of the team, is Zart, somewhere we are losing market share. Second is Atorlip in Nepal. We have to really rebuild because growth-wise also it's slightly in doldrums. So we need to regain our lost prescriber and gain the momentum. For Cresar, again in Nepal, we have to get the momentum right. We are still, because our EI is less and so is our growth. So these are the 3 brands which you have to really do the repair part. Rest, all of the brands looks very healthy, and I think this really shows a lot of opportunity, because if you fall on the extreme bottom, you see the market when we cumulatively add, it stands up to $36 million market. And what is our reflection in the market? We are 3.88. So almost less than a 10% visibility in the market. Somewhere we can take this 3.88 to 5 to 10 million variegate. I think that will be a great delta, and that's what our green, yellow, and blue represents, that we have to gain market share when it comes to Rosaliv, Amphogen, and Cresar, because we are very small. We have to gain and hold our fort very strongly when it comes to legacy brand like Zart and Atorlip, and Urimex, where we have leadership position, and focus on the yellow bars, where we intend to focus on gaining ranks, targeting leadership in segments which we are very near to it. So yellow, brands to aim for top 3 position. The blue box represents the global brands which are there as far as our expected aspiration is concerned. Now, what is our focus in H2? This is very important for all of you to understand, and if I have to say, this is the heart of the slide which you have to pick country-wide, that what is the road to glory if we have to close H2 on a high. For Sri Lanka, Ditor is the core focus, apart from your overall portfolio, driving CMEs, driving meetings, and focusing new patient generation by conducting a lot of camps. Initially, we had some hiccup in H1 because of the geopolitical tensions, and the country had its own challenge, but now the market is stable. I am seeing good turn up happening with lipid camps. Nepal, tremendous bounce back in Q2. I think keep up the momentum high, and you've got plenty of cards to roll out. You already have care advisory going on, care studies coming on H2, LEAPS, obviously, Atoril is done, and now you're communicating Atoril study, 3D meetings, starter kits, and satellite clinics. I think these are the 5 major levers which will help you take home towards as far as budget is concerned. For Malaysia, I must say XBRA is our calling card, because that gives us a lot of value also. So we have done pretty well. I think XBRA we take up for next 6 months, very focused. then we will get an extra delta incremental value which was never done before. So this is your focus area, followed by starter kits as Cresar stocks are arriving in the country. So targeting another 5 months, and this will give you good jump in business. For Myanmar, I think Cresar has come back, so we are all set for our real world study, LEAP meetings done in country, and the starter kit. So these are your doctor engagement and new patient generation program. And if I have to sum up in numbers, we are targeting at around 3,000 doctor engagement in H2 and targeting at 10,000 new patient generation in H2 to take us home, or when I have to say, to chase a budget of 12.33 million. Something very important for all of us to see where we stand on our yearly plan and execution, because somewhere when we see how we have done or what is our current scorecard. So this year, on the right side, if you see the matrix is very clear that number of doctor engagement plan is there, prescriber is there, prescription are there, how many patients have been generated. So far, YTD August, if you see, we have engaged around 2,190 doctors, 4,420 prescribers are writing for us, so we seems to be on track. Prescription wise, we are on track and we continue to grow with 15% growth. Patient generation needs an attention, particularly for Nepal and Sri Lanka, because now the lipid camps are in action with full swing. So we have a score is 2,000 patients being generated. We still have a deficit, guys, so we need to cover in H2. And to my left, YP or yearly plan update, if you see, we have to cover, Sri Lanka has to cover doctor engagement plan because it's 33% achievement. Nepal, we all appreciate your engagement drive, which is 109, highest among all 4 countries. And for Malaysia, again, the engagement part is low. I understand that there are certain challenges, but I think H2 looks very formidable. So net, if I have to conclude, 2,100 patients were engaged, 77% is the engagement ratio. We can pull it up, and I think this next 6 months are going to write up a great story for all of us. What is there in H2? I think 2,000 doctors we have to engage, and we have to generate good number of patients. And if you recollect my last slide, we are 10,000 patients short. So we have to cover that deficit. And this is a plethora of activities which are lined up, which will help you do so. Be it your ESC conference, lipid camps, satellite camps, starter kit, meetings. And this is your country-wise breakup, which looks fairly well. So cover up the deficit and execute the current plan. Not just initiatives to make sure you're confident and increase your in-clinic excellence. We have a robust training calendar on the key brands so that you're fully confident the communication upload on iPad is very crisp and you deliver and demand the brand with the doctors. So this is your robust training calendar which you will be undergoing a full throttle on key brands which needs to build up in this year. So it looks very exciting. And with this, I think we have come to the end of the cardio and urology H2 roadmap, and we are all excited. Things are pretty much on track, but just a word of caution, there are one or two hiccups. We need to take care of that, and we see a great delta. We will be ending up on high when we close the year gone by. Friends, we have this for the first time. We are doing a panel discussion to bring you insight from the 2 of the in-country marketing champions, that what they think of. Globally, we have rolled out the strategy. What is their perception and how does it translate for all of us? So we have Debashish, who is our in-country marketing manager from representing Nepal, driving cardiology and urology. So I have a question to you, Debashish, that your H1 was amazing. Your bounce back story is really inspiring. So why don't you tell people what is your H1 revival story and what are your game changers for H2? Over to you, Debashish.
Okay, thanks, Devdutt. Before I begin, heartiest congratulations to everyone for successfully closing H1 and wish you all the best for remaining half of the year. For us, H2 is a huge opportunity to come together as a team and deliver this year's objective. Nepal has always been a resilient team, beating the odds and coming out on top. And we are all geared up for a revival. Out of the initiative lined up for H2, there are a few major ones which would give us our planned results. First, we have identified telmisartan as one of our most promising molecules, and we are fully dedicated to garner 5% of the market share with Cresar. We are recruiting 1,000 plus new patients directly on Cresar through starter kits. And for its single pill combo, that is Cresar AM, we are conducting perception survey with plans to onboard 6,000 plus patients. Second, we want to strengthen our leadership in urology. We are very focused on expanding to physicians and continue to partner with leading KOLs through our flagship controversies in Uro-Oncology Conference. However, maintaining internal KPI is the key. So we will strongly align to maintaining our A-visit frequencies, regular RCPA, and most importantly, adequate brand exposures for solid in-clinic excellence.
Thank you, Devashish. I think your story is really inspiring how you have bounced back in Q2 for Nepal. And I see a sense of high confidence to deliver the numbers. So thank you very much for sharing your perspective. Let us jump to Sri Lanka and let us hear Sri Lanka part, what Sri Lanka has to say. So we have Tharindu, who is our marketing manager in Sri Lanka, who is driving the marketing. And Tharindu, I have a question to you that you have a remarkable start in H1. And with this run rate, we see there is an upside happening in Sri Lanka. So what are your major game changers and how do you see cardio-urology going forward at the fag end of the year? Over to you, Tharindu.
Hello everyone. Thank you so much, Dave, for giving me this valuable opportunity. What I thought was like, rather I move to H2 discussion, let me have some highlighted area in H1 because it is really that important. I should give my credit to the entire team because at the beginning of the financial year, we had to face many difficulties. We had our price increase, and then continuously we are facing, our country is going on a economic crisis, and the patient buying behavior, it's changing day by day. So it is really difficult for us to forecast the thing and do our activities. But kudos to the team, whatever the execution part that we are expecting them from them, they have been able to deliver it, and that is why Sri Lanka is being success, and we are on continuous basis budget achievement. So by saying that, if you see cardio performance, cardio team itself, they have achieved their target and recorded 107% budget achievement with recording 97% growth compared to previous year H1. Euro team, they are 95% budget achievement, but growth is 101% compared to previous year. There were some hiccups in terms of Euro team because they had a product out of stock situation, especially Urimax. We didn't have products for about 1.5 months, and then we had some OS situation in Duprost and Calutite. But as a team, that we are confident that we are going to bounce back, and at the end of the H2, we will be achieving our 100% in Euro team also. So the most important and the highlighted activity was the data launch because it was the turning point in terms of cardio division, because we have engaged almost all the cardiologists across Sri Lanka to through data session. And at the at the beginning of the launch, we have been targeting 89 doctors for this brand, and I'm really glad and happy to say that within 3 months of time, we have been able to convert 86 doctors out of 89. Entire team worked for this, and the credit should goes to them. So apart from that, so we have done multiple activities because we knew that H2 is not going to be a easy task for us. So that is why a continuous basis, from starting from data launch, and then E. coli, and then we did ESC, and then we just completed UAA session. So now we have set the platform to H2. It's time for us to harvest in H2. So we really confident, and even my team is confident that we are going to do in H2 really well. In terms of brands, Atolip, Rosilip, Urimax, and for Clopivas, we are driving 15 to 20% prescription growth in this financial year. And as a new product, we are very aggressive on Diato, Emphogen, Creza, because we have many confidence that we have the strength to go and achieve aggressive market share. So all things being said, and we have been discussed with the team. Even the team is really energized on this. So especially if I talk about as a marketing initiatives, lipid camps, healthy heart drive, we set the platform, we started on at the end of the H1, and we are cultivating the results in H2. At the same theory for ZART, we have started a starter pack campaign, and the results we are seeing in H2. So all in all, what I need to say is Sri Lanka as a team, as one team, we are really confident that we are going to give our best shot in H2. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Terendu. That was really very, very clear verdict. I think from strategy point of view, Sri Lanka has been at the forefront, and your H1 is very strong. The way you have narrated your engagement plan, your new patient generation plan, this looks really formidable, and I'm sure that we are going to see a new glory and a new chapter written forward. Thank you, Terendu. All right, here is the poll question. We just finished the panel experts who opined their opinion, how they are thinking for the country. Let's have a poll and let's hear what the voice of nation says. So we have 2 or 3 questions to quickly hear what is the mood of the nation, or what is the mood of countries, I'll say. So your first question is on the screen. What are the key doctor engagements and patient generation initiative for the growth for H2 for the year 22-23? And your options are starter kit, lipid camps, CRESAS survey, or all of the above. Please vote. I think each poll vote is very important. Keep voting, keep voting. We are seeing some amazing traction. Very good. All right, last 10 seconds. So here we go. So what's the mood of the countries? May I have the screen? Let's move on to the number 2 question. Dear friends, for new launches, which of the following will mark a successful launch? Number 1, market share gain 6 to 8%. Option 2, doctor conversion from competitor brand. Option 3, increasing prescription for the brand. Option 4, all of the above. Start polling. Your time starts now. Great opportunity to make new launches big, and I think both the countries have good brands to look upon. Last 5 seconds. All right, here we go. Let's see the screen. So thank you very much. I think this session has given you a lot of wisdoms which you can clone and which you can adapt, and let's run the race and finish the chase for 12.33 on a high for this year 22-23. Thank you, team. Bye-bye.
So Pawan, understanding cardio and Euro business wouldn't have been easier until now.
Absolutely.
Thank you everyone for being so elaborative and simplifying the H2 plan for all of us.
Moving on, our next segment is currently a talk of the town, digital. And to present that, we have Prateek Pawar coming up on the stage. Prateek.
Hello dear colleagues and respected leaders. Welcome to WeRISE. My name is Prateek and I will be speaking about the digital walkthrough today. But before I start with my presentation, let me just give you a quote from Charles Darwin, which I completely align and feel very relatable in today's date. So he said that it's not the strongest or the most intelligent species that survives, it's the species who is able to adapt the most, that species will thrive in future. And I completely relate to that in today's world, because this does not only applies to the humans, but it also applies to the organizations today, because the organizations who today follow just the fundamentals or the values will not be able to succeed as much as if they are able to adapt as per the changing environments. So that's the thought behind this quote. Second, before again starting with my presentation, let me just give you a few interesting facts. If you know that there are 8 billion people on this planet Earth, out of which close to 5.4 billion people are currently using mobile devices, which is a staggering 67%. Then there are close to 5 billion people on this world who are using internet in today's till date, which is a 63% contribution. And then there are close to 4.7 billion people on this world, on this earth, who are currently using social media, which is 59%. So the context of giving this facts is basically that these numbers are definitely going to rise in the future, and we need to be ready. And the doctors are also ready. So doctors are tech savvy in today's world, and we should be also able to adapt and accept the technology. So let me start with my presentation. So today I will be covering the 3 important aspects of digital engagement which we are following, which is DMR, digital webinars, which includes healthcare superstars and local webinar, and then Cipla Netflix. So these are the 4 channels of engagement. So if you see the first 2 quadrants, these are the quadrants where the medical reps are contributing along with the digital. The third quadrant is Cipla Netflix, which is again in a mix of Cipla Netflix app and the medical representative support. And the third is completely HO driven channels. Now if you notice, the first and the second quadrant are basically the ones which has the highest success rate, which we can say, or we can conclude by saying that these are the most effective channels because these are supported by the medical representatives. And if you see on the other hand, the HO driven channels, these have relatively less success rate, but we are still driving it because we want to engage our doctors with as many digital channels as possible, just to ensure that we are reaching to the right customers at the right time. Now let's look at the H1 performance and how we have performed till date in H1. So if you can see on the screen, you'll see in the center, it shows that this is the Q2 performance or DMR coverage for us. The first side of the table says that what was the achievement or the DMR coverage for us in the last year, same quarter, and then the third side says that how we have performed in the Q1 of this year. Now if you see that there is a difference, we have performed better than Q1, but we have not performed better than last year Q2. Second, if you see the second table, it basically says that our DMR country-wise coverage has decreased compared to last year. This is solely responsible for one reason is because we have utilized SMS to a large extent last year, but this time we have stopped it. But still we are at 85%, which is a good number. But our aspiration is to reach 90% this time. And with little discipline and with little efforts, I think we will be able to achieve that 90% number. How we can achieve that number is basically we have to cover maximum MSL, we have to get maximum optimal channel utilization, and the reporting and the database update should be proper and timely from the field side. From the HO, we will support you with monthly reports, we will support you with new content, monthly new content, and then there are rep reward programs which are also a motivation for you guys. This is the DMR streamlining process which we have done in H1. So if you notice that now the content flow is very frequent and very robust, fresh content as many as 12 like 6 emails and 6 WhatsApp messages are uploaded every month for the reps to utilize and send it to the doctors, which includes the corporate communication, medical, and the brand communication. Now moving to the healthcare superstars or the digital engagement channels. So if you see, I have flagged or I have highlighted the numbers. The one in greens are the one which we are doing well, and the one in orange are the places where we need to improve. So if you see, our total registration combining both the webinars or both the HSS episodes in H1, we have touched more than 10,000 registrations, and the 7,000 plus 200 coming from DTM alone. If you go to the extreme right, you will see the attendance where we have crossed 2,000 doctors, like 2,000 doctors have attended our webinar in the last 2 episodes, and the contribution of 1,200 or 300 has come from DTM alone. Then the problem area is where that the participation from the countries have come down. The average watch time has decreased from 33 minutes to 27 minutes, which we need to work upon. And the ratio, the good part is the ratio of registration has improved. This is the H1, this is the entire all episode healthcare superstar performance. And if you see, the good part is that the last episode we did exceptionally well in terms of the registration, and we have crossed 6,000 number, which is only second to the episode 6 in the entire 12 seasons of 12 episodes of healthcare superstars. But the the problem area again is that the watch time has decreased and the attendance has only slightly improved. So this is an area where we need to improve. If you see on the second graph, the country-wise contribution. So if you see Nepal, Sri Lanka and Morocco has contributed very well in terms of attendance and registration, but their conversion rate is quite less. But on the other hand, if you see Algeria, Malaysia, Morocco, Myanmar, UAE and Oman, they have not contributed much in terms of, if you compare with Nepal, Sri Lanka and Morocco, they have not contributed that much, but their conversion rates are better. So if we can do this for, like, if we can reverse this, maybe if Nepal, Sri Lanka and Morocco can give us a better conversion, and if Algeria, Myanmar, Malaysia and Oman, UAE can give us a better registration and attendance, I think we will be able to succeed or reach greater heights. This is again a H1 performance for Healthcare Superstar as well as for local webinars. So just quickly I will be covering this, that what we have achieved in H1 and what is the aspiration or expectation in H2. So like I mentioned, registration we have done exceptionally well. The attendance wise we have improved the attendance number. Average watch time has decreased, which is a problem area. The platform, Cipla Netflix platform is now working seamlessly. That is a good news. Aspiration for H2 is basically that this number, maybe I would request you to take a screenshot or something like that. This is your target area, or this is the number which if you achieve, we will reach great heights. So at least if you can get 40 doctors in your MSL to register and 15 doctors out of those 40 doctors attend the webinar, I think we will be able to reach great heights. Average watch time is a concern which we are targeting right now is 40 minutes, and with your support, I think we will be able to achieve that as well. Ratio is again a concern. Initially, the ratio was to 100 doctors, 33 doctors used to attend the webinar, but now the ratio has fallen down to only 20 doctors. So this is something which we need to improve again. Make your you can identify some doctors who can advocate HSS, and those can be our repeat attendees. You can organize minimum one physical HSS, which is now the ask of the hour from the doctors also, because after COVID, doctors are now asking for physical meetings or physical webinars. So we can definitely do this every episode, at least do one physical meeting in each DTM. Coming to the local webinars, I believe that this is a new initiative which we have taken to improve our engagement on the Cipla Netflix app. So plan for at least 2 local webinars each DTM every month. I think this will make our platform more robust, and then there will be doctors coming to our platform and engaging with us. Do at least one society collaboration every month. That I think will also help to improve our engagement. Physical HSS, this is the plan which I was just talking about, which is the need of the hour. Organize at least one physical meeting. I think that during the HSS telecast day, I think that will definitely help the doctors as well as us. All the support for this will be provided, like the collaterals, like the artwork will be provided by the HO. So please feel free to organize these sessions going forward. And the rep rewards will be also linked to the physical HSS. So just keep that in mind going forward, that this is a crucial element which we need to do going forward. Now let's take a moment to congratulate and applaud the superstars. Registration wise, Nepal was the one which did the highest registration, followed by Morocco and Sri Lanka. Attendance wise, it was again Nepal who has contributed the most, followed by Sri Lanka and Algeria. You can see the numbers. The country wise SPOCs who contributed immensely or were instrumental in achieving these numbers were, the first rank goes to Ramesh from Nepal. Then Ramesh and Viranga contributed very well in achieving the numbers for Sri Lanka. They ranked second, and Aysam and Waji from Algeria and Morocco respectively bags the third place. And then there are the ground achievers or the ground heroes who were instrumental in achieving those numbers. So you can see the people who have contributed or who have got onboarded 25% of their MSL doctors have only have only been listed in this reward program. So you can see their names here, and let's congratulate them. Now, before the next part is basically my colleague Swarit will be taking ahead with Cipla Medflix. But before I move to that slide, let me just talk about the aspirations. And this again, you can just take a picture or a screenshot. These are your numbers. These are your target numbers if we have to achieve that numbers in H2. So from the DMR point of view, 90% is the target coverage which is expected from you all. 18 days is the minimum active days on DMR. You should be active for at least 18 days of your working days in the month. 600 is the monthly interaction, minimum monthly interaction per MR. You should at least make 10 successful calls to the doctors in a month. 80% of your MSL should be covered by email and 20% by WhatsApp is our expectation from you all if we have to achieve those success numbers. From healthcare superstar point of view, I think 5,000 is the registration number per episode, which is your number, your go-to number, and 1,200 attendance per episode is our target again. Registration, like I mentioned, 40 doctors per MSL per MR. If you can achieve this number, I think we will be able to achieve great heights. 15 doctors out of the 40 doctors, if they attend the webinar, again great. At least 3 physical attendance, 3 doctors who could attend the physical meetings, and then 5 repeat attendees. This is the expectation. And from Cipla Medflix point of view, the total onboarding, our target is currently 21,000 and we are currently at 18,000, so which is achievable. Monthly active users is 9,000, we are at 6,000. Engagement time is 35 minutes expectation and our current number is 32 minutes, which is again achievable. And the total app install is for 4,000 plus. So thank you so much. This was the final slide of my presentation. Before I move to the next session, I would like to invite Aysam from Algeria for the panel discussion. So Aysam, since we see that Algeria has done exceptionally well in terms of conversion, I would like to ask you this question: that how did Algeria as a team ensure that they have the best conversion rate in healthcare superstars?
Yeah, I believe that the secret in the is in the very close follow-up on a daily basis of the invitation by the reps, of which they take this opportunity to thank them and congratulate them for their application and seriousness in waiting to concretize and make this type of events a frank success. Another very important point is the reporting and sharing the technical concerns in real time in order to fix them as quickly as possible through close collaboration with you, Pratik, and the entire team involved in the project.
So my second question is that how does Algeria leverage DMR, and do you have any suggestions to improve the effectiveness of the DMR channel?
DMR is a tool used to catch the maximum of doctors and notifying them digitally. The team used all supports such as phone calls, short messages, and also other platforms like Viber or WhatsApp, just to maintain the doctor aware of any updates. My only suggestion is to close all technical issues to be 100% operational in optimal environments.
Thank you, Aysam. So before I move to the next session, I would like to thank you everyone once again. I wish you all the best. And for the next session, I would like to invite my colleague Swarit. He will be taking you through the Cipla Medflix section. Thank you so much. Godspeed.
Thank you, Pratik, for handing over the stage to me, and good day to one and all, and welcome to WeRISE presentation. Now, I am here to cover the platform that we call Cipla Medflix, our own on-demand platform, a platform that has shown extreme rigor in the last 1 year. If you see over here, we will first start with the key highlights of this platform, okay? This platform has always brought in something new, something energizing that we provided to you every month or every week even. So starting with the global events that we have, performed this year itself in the H1 was HSS episode 12, Global Respiratory Connect, where we were showing the updates on the GINA guidelines. We were covering mild asthma in it, and the show garnered a very good response from the people all over the globe. Coming to the second initiative, that is the ebook. We downloaded and we provided our doctors with 5 top respiratory ebooks, and it also garnered a huge success when it comes to platform metrics like app installs and the engagement time. Going down to your and only your initiative, that was Cipla Netflix Champion Series, where we were recognizing each and every rep that has contributed towards this platform, helped it increase, and sponsored the reach throughout the globe. Okay. Then we go on to in-country live streaming. Now this is a new thing that we have brought in to the platform. What we want to do is that you do a lot of CME in your country, which sometimes goes unnoticed on the global level. Now what we want to do is that we want to bring that CME of yours that is in country to this global platform Cipla Netflix and make it even more better, bigger and more engaging for all the doctors across the globe. Now due to these key highlights, if you see over here, you would see the aspirations that we have at the end of H1. That is 18,000 plus users should be onboarded. There should be 15% monthly active users and engagement time of 21 minutes. I would like to congratulate you all because you were the pillar of success when it comes to achieving all the aspirations that are noted over here. We have surpassed aspirations like monthly active users and engagement time by a huge margin. Where we were needing 15%, we are 46% today. Where we were needing 21 minutes, we were 32 minutes. But with all the good reports, also there are some reports that are slightly lagging, but I am very sure that in the upcoming H2, we will cover it through with great aces. That is the app install. We had an aspiration of 5,000 plus app install, and we were able to do 2,600 out of them. But we will cover that going forward now. So now going to the next slide, I want to take 2 important factors, which are the top contributing countries when we consider the platform Cipla Netflix, and what is coming up in the next H2. What will we do and how will we support you engaging the doctor in an innovative way. Now coming to the country ranking, if you see, the top position is occupied by Algeria with nearly 51% of their registered user being active on the platform. Then the second position is followed by Sri Lanka with 37% active users on the platform out of their entire registered database. Then comes Morocco with 31% and Nepal with 25%. First of all, a big round of applause to all these 4 countries for performing, to best to their levels, giving us the results and being the ambassadors of Cipla Netflix in their very own respective countries. Now coming down, what is coming up in H2? We have always, reinvented the wheel. We have called in for disruptions when it comes to Cipla Netflix. So Champion Series is coming out now again. We have concluded the 3 months Champion Series that is ending on 15th of October, and we will start a new series with new features now. The results of the previous series will be out soon. So please be, hold on tight for that. Now, society. We are reaching out to every country of, that is present in Cipla Netflix, trying to make a connection with the society in these respective countries so that we can also show their event onto our platform through a collaboration agreement. Now that is the next plan of action that we are going on to. Country CME, when you see, if you see, we want you to bring your CMEs that you are doing in country to our platform and making it global, making it visible to the entire audience onto Cipla Netflix. That is around 18,400 plus. Then social media. Finally, we are venturing into social media platforms. We are going on to YouTube, we are going on to Facebook, and we will do a lot of promotions for Cipla Netflix that will help you engage the doctor better. And then when we come to the platform features, we are building in quizzes, gamification. We are bringing in many features that will, make the platform a streamlined platform, a smooth platform for all your doctors. And going on, we have increased the monthly content. We were 7 when we started average. Now we have crossed 11 and 12 content every month. So these are the highlight, what is coming up in H2. Now going on, what is expected from you? Only 3 points. First, share your CME calendar, your country CME calendar with us. We will integrate it into the platform and live stream your events. Second, Cipla Netflix Champion Series is coming back. Now the last edition saw an active involvement of nearly 90 reps. Now we want to go further to it. We want to increase the involvement to 120, 130 plus. And the third point, in-country KOL engagement. We are coming with a plan to curate videos for Cipla Netflix through engaging your own country KOL. We will ask you the list of the same. We will reach out to the country KOLs with the topics and everything, and we will get it recorded. So that's the plan. That is the 3-pointer that you need to do. Just taking 30 seconds of your time in telling you what is coming up in Cipla Netflix Champion Series. This time Cipla Netflix Champion Series will have a format of knockout. So if you don't perform, you will be out of the game. But if you perform, you will get great incentives. Going on, what is the criteria? Last time we had 10 doctors per month. Now we have lessened it down a little. We want 15 doctors in 2 months for you to stay in the game. So that is the entire point. And for every doctor that is activated through this champion series, will gain you 10 points. So be on the top of the leaderboard, do your best, and bring us many glories across the world. So thank you. This is my part for Cipla Netflix, and thank you for your extreme cooperation in making the platform a global platform. So after the entire session, we will take you through the poll that we have created for you. Now take this poll very seriously, because these are the pointers and we are hearing you. Whatever you say will be implemented. So the first question is, which of the below noted pointers attracts HCP to attend healthcare superstars? First option is key opinion leaders. The second option is new age and relevant topics. The third option is time slot feasibilities and availability. And the fourth is language preference. Now, the poll will be on your screen. Go and punch in your answers. We are really looking forward for your answers onto this question, and that will make HSS going forward better. So it is on your screen. Please do the needful. Come on guys, it is really necessary that you respond to this survey for us to do better in the next episode. Yes. Come on, last 5 seconds. Done guys. So the first question is over and the results are on your screen. So we are seeing a healthy response. Everybody has answered and we have listened. So let's go on to the next question now. The next question is for your own platform, Cipla Netflix, which is an on-demand respiratory platform and is catering to nearly 18,400 users. What do you think that has helped the platform go on to a global level? The first, monthly respiratory content upload that we are doing on the platform. The second is the platform features, the good features that we bring in, like ebook, gamification, CME, live streaming and everything. The third is the connection between you and the doctor that the platform has very beautifully captured. And the fourth is Cipla Netflix original content, that is Healthcare Superstar, Global Respiratory Connect. Which of the following do you feel makes the doctor come on the platform more? So the poll is on your screen. Please punch in your answers. I'm seeing the poll, increasing. Let's bring it further and let's all of us, attend to the poll. Give us your answer. 5 seconds remaining, guys. Come on, faster. Okay. Okay. So the poll is down now. The results are on your screen. We have noted it. And we will do the needful on your responses, and let's connect in the future. Thank you guys. Thank you for your time today.
You know what, Shruti? There are no boundaries or borders in digital era. And looking at this digital segment, I guess we all are evolving.
I completely agree with you, Pawan. On that note, thank you so much, Pratik, Swarit and Isam, for walking us through digital journey. So Pawan, what is our next session? I think I have forgotten the flow.
Don't worry, Shruti, I got you covered, and that's why I am the host and ghost for this event. Well, I'll give you a hint, and so is for each one of you. Without this department, without this function, you may not be getting your incentives.
Oh, there you go, Pawan. So team, any guesses? Please put it in the chat box.
Come on, everyone, please type in the chat box.
Well, Pawan, I think most of them have got it right, including myself. This function is none other than Salesforce effectiveness.
Absolutely. And to present that, ladies and gentlemen, let me call Mr. Saju Mon, who has recently joined our Salesforce effectiveness team. and he's going to talk about the entire SFE upcoming plan for H2. So let us all hear for Saju Mon.
Thank you, Pavan and Shruti. Thank you for the warm welcome. And hello, everyone. I am really excited to join this organization. I'm really excited to join a winning team. Thank you so much, Cipla, for having me over here. And I will be presenting the SFE parameters, SFE system. So thank you so much. First of all, when I was looking at the system, looking at the numbers, what I found was it was quite interesting. When I look at the lead indicators, I found that many countries are doing very well, and there are certain countries which require a bit of improvement. So the organization which has a firm belief in the processes, the organization which is leading the way for others, the organization which is pioneer in many things in the industry. So you guys have done a good job. So when I look at the numbers, I realize that it is because of the process centricity the organization is achieving the results. Now there is a lot of scope for improvement. That is where we, SFE, will act as an enabler and support you and be with you to improve your effectiveness and finally improve your business performance and incentive earning. So I'll take you through a few slides where we will find what's happening with regard to the efforts part. So there are few more things. 4 things I want to highlight. Number 1 is the efforts part, the activities that you have done. Number 2 is the output, that is the prescription. And number 3, of course, the incentive, the quite exciting incentive scheme that we have for you. And finally, the way forward. Yes. The numbers. This is the numbers of the medical representatives, first line manager, the doctors, the pharmacies that we cover. And now let us look at the outcome, the brand exposure. So we have 6,000 hours of iPad detailing. This is March to August data. And overall exposure per month is 34,000. And now coming to the prescription, that is the outcome, as well as the prescribers, we have 18,000 plus prescribers per month. And overall prescription, that is 3,73,000 coming from 8 DTMs. It's a quite phenomenal achievement. Look at the lead score, visit frequency and coverage. This shows where we stand with regard to the parameter set. You can see the parameter set at the right hand side. What I find is that the organization as a whole, across the countries, we are doing a decent job. In certain cases, we are doing exceedingly well, and in certain cases, it shows that we need to work more. For example, lead score of Malaysia, Myanmar, Nepal, and Sri Lanka are pretty good, whereas other countries need to catch up. And when it comes to A-class VF, that is very important. A-class VF and overall VF are 2 things we need to work on. And here there is scope for improvement. I would look at it as scope for improvement because finally the prescription output that we generate is the result of A-class doctor visit frequency as well as overall coverage. So the output that we have generated over the period of time could have been better if we were focusing more on this. But then that is the area of improvement. So moving on, I'll give you a little more insight about the visit frequency and lead score. So here we have 2 set of graphs. It shows the visit frequency coverage as well as the A-class doctor visit frequency. So as you can see, in case of visit frequency, 2 countries, Myanmar and Malaysia, are at par with the set parameters. When it comes to A-class doctor visit frequency, this is where we need to work a little bit more because finally, though we have good coverage of doctors, but when it comes to A-class doctor who can give us more sustainable, consistent business, we need to focus a little more. That is what it shows. It's an area of improvement for us. Now this is call average. This is pretty good across the countries. What it shows is everybody is having good call average, and you can see that blue color indicates what is the parameter set, and barring 2 countries, every country is having a good call average here. That is quite exciting, but this puts a question mark. Like we need to understand one thing: when the call average is so good, why the VF coverage, why the A-class doctor coverage is less? So this is one question I would ask you guys to find out. It shows that probably we are focusing on certain set of doctors more. We are meeting some of the doctors more number of times. That's the reason our overall VF coverage and A-class doctor visit frequency is little less. But then I know that when you organize your tour program, when you organize your work, you will be in a position to increase that. Finally, when you look at when you try to achieve consistent business or sustainable business, the most important parameter is spread of coverage. We need to keep meeting doctors constantly across all spectrum. So to achieve that, there is a simple parameter, A-class doctor visit frequency and overall visit frequency. Please focus on that in the coming days. And of course, this is the output, prescription output. It's quite impressive. You can see the overall prescription trend is quite positive, and so is the overall prescriber data. So the customers who are writing our products are writing our product constantly, and of late there has been an increase. This is really, this herald good for the organization. Coming days are going to be pretty good for us. And what is important is, as of now, when you look at the numbers, what I understand is that we have not captured the prescription data of all doctors. So the coming half year will have an objective for us, that is to capture the prescription data of minimum 90% of the customers that we cover. That will give us a better picture, and finally our objective of sustainable business will be achieved when we focus on this parameter. One more thing is very important from the training perspective. When we meet customers regularly, when we achieve visit frequency parameters, what is more important is we stick to the Cipla way of selling. The Cipla way of selling can finally give you the desired outcome, for which I understand you have been trained and you guys understand those parameters. So focus on Cipla way of business generation, Cipla way of selling. Yes. Now, most exciting thing for any sales personnel, when you contribute to the growth of the organization, you get equally and you got handsomely rewarded. Our organization has said you already have this information, very handsome incentive scheme. And it starts from 95%, you know that, and it goes on like when you achieve 100%, you get 100% incentive. There are quite exciting offers, like when you achieve 100% to 105%, you earn more incentive. And finally, there is a parameter that you achieve. There are two more parameters. One is you achieve 105% to 110%, you earn 120. And the icing on the cake is you achieve 111% and you get 130%. So this is one of the best in class incentive scheme the industry has seen, and you guys, it is open for you guys. And there is adding to the cake is adding icing to the cake is the win back proposition. Win back means criteria that has been added. You can win back your incentive if you are lost. So details are with you. So what is expected is that you focus on the customer coverage, visit frequency coverage, in-clinic effectiveness, and finally improve your in-clinic effectiveness and prescription generation through Cipla way of selling. That's it. And this is our SFE take-home message for each one of you. The SFE take-home messages are pretty clear, simple. There will be slight changes over the last half year. Here now the focus would be on detailing time. We have a average which is less than 2 minutes now. So coming days we need to focus on 2+, more than 2 minutes per call time. Per doctor, more than 2 minutes would be our focus. And number of brands detailing, to detail 3 brands and to remain 2 brands. And number 3, A-class doctor visit must be 95%. So touch base of A-class doctors should not be less than 95%. To achieve that, we need to target meeting all the doctors so that we end up at 95%. And overall coverage, that is minimum 1 visit, overall coverage also shouldn't be less than 95%. So we need to focus on trying to cover all the doctors, so you end up with not less than 95%. And prescription reporting is very important. We have seen that there is a good trend, positive trend happening, and if we capture information of more doctors across the countries, the prescription trend will surely go up. And for that, what we need to focus on is to capture prescription information of minimum 90% doctor you cover. If you want to cover 95% prescription data, I believe you need to try to capture information of more number of doctors. And now the shift is, now we are coming back to the old normal, where we would be focusing more on physical calls, face-to-face calls of the doctors, because finally it is a personal touch in our industry that matters. To achieve that, please focus on face-to-face call. That is going to be the mantra. And finally, most important thing, as I mentioned earlier, focus on Cipla way of selling to achieve in-clinic effectiveness, to enhance per call productivity, per call prescription, looking at non-prescriber, convert them into prescribers and making them prescribe more number of products, which is possible only when we connect with the customer intellectually and emotionally, which is possible only when we meet them regularly. as per the set parameters, set visit frequency. And what I find is that with the incentive scheme, which is quite exciting, as well as you guys have already have a track record of generating prescription from across the world, and you guys have done a good job. So let us work together. We as SFE team would be working with you to enable your performance. We have many quite interesting things coming up. I will reveal the things during my interaction with you one-to-one in the coming days. So I am really excited. I am really happy to join you guys and wish you all the best. Thank you so much. Well, so lastly, here is a poll question for you. Ready for the question? So here it is. The question is related to your incentive earning. The question is, for incentive earning, apart from the sales parameters, which is the activity parameter? You know the answer. Apart from the sales parameter, which is the activity parameter? And your options are there on the screen. DMR and visit frequency, DMR and coverage, option number 3, coverage and visit frequency, coverage and A-class doctor visit frequency. Come on, hurry up. Here it's your time to answer. Yes, everyone. I can see some moments. So please hurry up. You have 30 seconds to answer. 15 more seconds to go. All right. Thank you so much. So the answer is there on the screen. Everyone can see. So I wish each one of you earn the best possible incentive. Thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you so much, Saju. Our next session will be presented by none other than your host and definitely a ghost for today's event, Mr. Pawan Lalwani. Pawan is going to talk about how and what we have done in the training segment in H1. Over to you, Pawan.
Hi everyone, welcome to WeRISE. So well, I'm here to talk about training. Well, we have seen over the last 6 months, we have done a lot of trainings in terms of therapy, in terms of product, in terms of selling skills, and also of lately we have also done some functional trainings and behavioral trainings as well. So let's talk about what we have achieved in H1 and what are we going to do in H2. So if you see, in the training intervention in H1, plans versus actual. So we had 18 training programs planned in H1 versus we have achieved 17 programs. We have our 1216 medical representatives and we covered 1204, which is again a good number. And we have covered every manager in the programs. So if you see, we have not just covered the countries, but we have also seen that since UAE is also integral part of our training, we have also ensured that UAE also gets all the benefit from this training. Moving on to the ongoing initiatives. If you see, we have 2 major initiatives. One is 3D Championship and the second is Mind Tickle. Now 3D Championship, we have seen what everybody went through the entire detailing competition. Everybody was in for the entire competition and we saw that everybody was so energetic about getting to the first prize. So, well, we received 150 recordings for this entire championship. All the FLMs, I would like to thank each and every one of you for taking out time and ensuring all your teams have charged up and then they went on with the entire recording. 3D Championship, we will definitely soon send out the results. We will let you know who the final winners are. It's on the process. Second is DPC, which is Disease, Product and Competition. We have seen all the trainings are going through. We have also seen your product trainings, disease trainings and the selling skills trainings are also happening on Mind Tickle. Mind Tickle again is a very important platform for all of us. We have integrated more than 6 assessments and now in fact it is 9 assessments that we have integrated, and we have seen by H1 we have seen that 73% of the people have already been using Mind Tickle, which is again a very good number. By H2 we are assuming and aiming to go 100% on Mind Tickle. Moving on to the next slide. If you see, this is going to help us understand what are the trainings that are scheduled and what we have completed or accomplished so far. So if you see, you have therapy and product training, we have GINA, we have devices, we have Respules, and then we have some cross learnings and other trainings. On the other side, we also have functional trainings like 3D championship, KOL management, we have effective developing teams that is coming on the way. Cipla way of selling is already happening across Cipla. And of course, analytical and Spring 2 is coming for our marketing manager. So this is the calendar that is going to look like for the entire H2 as well. Moving on to the next slide. Again, this is very important. What we have started, what we are going to stop, and what we are going to continue. The key features of this is we are trying to go or focus more on local training and more customizable training than a HO-driven training. The second is every training that we are going to do will have an impact, maybe conducted through an ROI, or it may be through a manager's feedback. What we are going to start, we'll be focusing, as I said, that we will be doing a lot of feedbacks received from the doctor. Basis on that, we will be doing a lot of TNAs, TNIs, and then we will plan the entire training. What also we are going to focus is on every med rep going through and scoring a minimum of 90% in their product and therapy knowledge. What we are going to stop is the HO-driven trainings, because we want to make it more customizable, and we want to ensure that we all are getting the training according to our country needs and requirements. And of course, using too many apps is again a very difficult job. So that is why we are only aiming right now is Percipio and Mindtickle. These are the two platforms that will be using it for our digital learnings. And what we will continue is focusing on Cipla way of selling, because that's something Dr. Raju would want us to ensure that entire Cipla is going through the entire training process of Cipla way of selling, and to have more of internal trainers where you guys will be training to the other team members. So we are also ensuring that our training or training managers also keep increasing day by day, or maybe our FLMs can go ahead and train our people down the line. So this is something that we are going to start, stop, and continue in the H2. Moving on to the last slide of training, we are going to talk about what is the purview of what we are going to do. So if you see FY23 planned versus YTD August. So FY23 planned was 31 topics we were supposed to do with 9,000, and we have already achieved 16 topics with 4,600 hours, which is again a good number, and we ensure that we will continue to complete 9,000 hours for all of you. Now again, in that 3D championship and Mindtickle, in Mindtickle, the content, so this is something new that is coming up. The content is, we are trying to put more content into French as well. And I know that we will also be putting more into Burmese and maybe more into Nepalis as well. So that is also coming up. But then to begin with, we are trying to put more content into French from H2 onwards. And second is our functional trainings will be conducted for FLM every month on Mindtickle or maybe on Teams application. So managers out there, since you will be getting trained month over month, you will also have to ensure that your teams are getting trained month over month. About 3D championship, H1, the final detailing is completed and the winners will be announced shortly. In H2, we would like to see maximum number of participation, since in H1 we saw 82% of the population participated in it. And this time in H2, we would want to see 100% of participation. Now going back to what our plans are in H2. So if you see, there are few pictures that I have posted. We have KOL management that's coming up. We also have dynamic ways of selling that is coming up. Roles of a manager, roles of a FLM, again, very important, a sales manager, that is coming up. We have Spring 2 coming up for our marketing team. I'm sure you would have seen some teasers around that. And of course, we have some Percipio learnings going through, which may be team management skills, delegation and negotiation, and effective communication for each one out there. So in case if you have any question on the training part, you can always reach out to me. You know how to connect with me. With that, I sign off. Thank you, everyone, and you have a wonderful H2. Thank you. So here is the poll question for all of you, and I would want you to answer it. So what kind of training should we focus in H2? The options are your knowledge training, which is product and medical, Second is doctor conversion. The third one is digital training like Cipla, Medflix, HHS, DMR, around that. And the fourth is developing effective teams. What exactly we should be focusing on more? I can see a lot of you are responding to it. Wonderful. Okay, you just got 5 more seconds. Perfect. Can we see the results on the screen, please? Wonderful. With that note, I sign off. Thank you everyone for your time, and you all have a wonderful day.
I guess we have come a long way in our training journey over the last 2 years, and all thanks to Pawan. No function is complete without a strong backbone. And for us, we have our medical team, that is Dr. Vaibhav and his team from Medical Affairs, who support us day in and day out. Next up, we have Dr. Vaibhav. Let's see what he has to say and how he is going to support us in our upcoming H2.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. In this festive season, it's a pleasure to talk to you once again. Hope all is well at your end. Team, as we are coming out of the uncertainties of COVID-19, we have a huge opportunity to make better medical marketing efforts into the markets and make larger impact in terms of brand building and therapy shaping exercises. In this meeting, the whole team will be giving a clear direction on the upcoming activities in Q3. When we look back, this was indeed a very happening quarter where we have done a lots of KOL engagement, both global and country KOLs, several advisory board meetings, team trainings in both respiratory and non-respiratory, local CMEs, some new launches, dissemination of the outcomes of editorial study, E. coli workshop in Sri Lanka, SPAN survey of pediatric asthma was presented at European Respiratory Society conference in Spain. Another 2 abstracts of trust are also accepted for presentation at APSR conference to be held in Seoul, Korea. And the usual activities like VMR, DMR, promotion material development, etc. are ongoing process. In this upcoming quarter and for the H2 of financial year 23, there are few things I would like to highlight where we'll be focusing. Respiratory Crossroads CME. We are organizing this important event in Paris in the first week of November. Program is multifaceted and we have didactic lectures, clinical debates, clinical case presentations, panel discussion, and country panel discussions also in this program. We'll be conducting care advisory board meetings in cardiology. Care survey specifically focusing on CRESAR AM will also be conducted. Episode 13 of Healthcare Superstars in the month of November, focusing on the COPD in the occasion of World COPD Month. We will also be having new gold guidelines coming in this month. We will try to do one international speaker program also for the guideline update. In-country KOL video development for Cipla Medflix. It will also enhance the contribution and engagement from the countryside for Cipla Medflix. Some more features will also be added to the platform and Swarit would be explaining in detail in his presentation. Dear team, last time I requested you all to keep on sending the feeds from the market where we can provide our guidance and help to you with best of our abilities. I would like to thank you and congratulate to the ones who have already started reaching out to us and gaining from this interaction. However, I think we can do much better in this. Please keep on sending your competitive intelligence and queries. In the last, I would like to welcome Dr. Himanshu in my team, who has joined in place of Dr. Snehal. He will also be supporting you all in this journey of achieving new heights in the DTMs. With this, I would like to wish you all the very best for Q3. and a very happy festive season to everyone. Wish you a very happy Diwali and a very happy New Year. Thank you.
So welcome back everyone.
Well, your today's host and ghost is back, right Shruti? I completely agree to what Shruti mentioned about medical affairs. It gave us a clear understanding on what we have to achieve in H2. Right, Shruti?
Absolutely.
Now, there is a quote which I really like, Shruti. We rise by lifting others, which is written by Robert Ingersoll, and our Human Resources Department is exactly displaying the same.
Indeed, Pawan. Without further delay, let's call our next speaker, Ms. Priyanka Khandelwal from the HR team.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening team. Hope you and your loved ones are doing well and keeping safe. I wanted to take this opportunity to thank each one of you for all the passion, all the commitment and all the work that you have put in H1 to make it where we stand today in DTM. You must know that people continues to be our biggest agenda and a bucket that we want to keep investing in. Just how you asked in H1 and we invested in things those are important to you, be it investing in capability development or career growth and movement within the system, or simply standing with our people in the time of need and launching allowances which could support them manage their livelihood within countries. H1, we also ensured that a lot of work was done in order to keep the engagement and training calendar going so that you have very regular touch points to know that the organization care and we are here because you exist. H2, we have two very big agendas. One in the field of inclusion and diversity, where we want to promote women talent within DTM. Right now, we stand at a 28%, but we want to take it to much higher ratio. So this is also an opportunity for me to make that humble request that if you know any woman talent anywhere in your circle, please feel free to refer them to us so that we can hire them, train them, and then subsequently make them a part of employment with Cipla. This is something that we are launching in Sri Lanka under #Cipla, empowering is inspiring. More of that will hit you very, very soon. The second most important thing is the culture aspect and our game plan around it. We've done a very deep survey on what is it you think the culture of our organization is, and now is the time when with those reports and outcomes, we want to hear from you in terms of how do we work around these things. One of the simplest intervention that we've done last month is we've launched a platform called We Are Listening. Again, a request for all of you to come forward and participate in this platform. Tell us what are your challenges. Tell us what is the feedback you want to give us so that we could incorporate that and work and make Cipla a much, much better place for us to stay happy and stay productive. Let me take this opportunity to again thank each one of you to keeping your trust in Cipla and the leadership team here. Please know that we would continue to work harder to ensure we create a space that is happy and productive for each one of us. Take very good care of yourself and stay well. God bless. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Priyanka, for such an enriching session. So, Pawan, I have a question for you. What kind of a leader you always look up to?
Well, I see a few qualities in a leader, especially a leader who is transparent, who empowers their team, and who is a visionary.
Wow. And I think we have such a leader in our team who possesses all these qualities which you just mentioned.
Yes.
And that person is none other than Mr. Purnendu Seth. He's going to talk about what we have achieved in H1 and what is our vision for H2. So without further delay, let me welcome Mr. Purnendu Seth.
Hello everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Pawan and Shruti for such a lovely introduction. I think the words has really encouraged me the words have really motivated me. Not only Pawan and Shruti, I would also like to thank each one of you, be it from country team or be it from head office, for making this amazing H1 performance. Each of you have contributed. This year for the DTM, H1 is like never before. We have delivered the number, we have adhered to the process, and we have delighted our customer. It is said a good start is only the half job done. We have covered the H1 in a really good manner. Now we are moving into H2. I think we can end this year in a very, very positive note. So now H1, what has happened, and H2, what is our aspiration, that is I am going to talk little bit here. This is very important slide. I want all of you to take a printout of this slide or take a photograph. Today we are all digital savvy. Keep it close to you. So let me start with couple of things what we have done well in H1 and what we need to continue in H2. First and foremost, for any business unit, SFE discipline is a must. We all have agreed for this year our lead score should be 90%. But in H1, our lead score stand at 86%. We are little short of it. Some of the countries are well above 90%, some of the countries are below. That is why our average is at 86%. In H2, each one of you need to register a lead score of more than 90. Remember two component which is very, very crucial in getting the lead score more than 90, which is visit frequency and a doctor visit frequency, because these two components cover 70% weightage. So ensure you meet all the doctors in your MSL with the right visit frequency, and specifically a category doctor you meet in a desired frequency. The second SFA discipline for H1 was prescription reporting, a very good job done. I think today not a single company will be there in the emerging market where 78% of the doctor's prescription behavior are reported in the system. Today you have done it in a span of only 1 year. In H2, we want the prescription reporting of more than 90% of the doctor. Whoever doctor you are meeting, make sure you are reporting their prescription behavior. The next important thing, once you have reached to the right customer with the right product, you need to expose it in a right manner. Current, our brand exposure is 22%, which is very low, and reason for it, we are not opening our iPad in each and every call. I know somebody is making call in the parking lot, somebody meeting the doctor when he is walking, but make sure you open your iPad and adhere to the P1, P2, P3 sequence which has been provided to you. We expect in H2, our brand exposure should be crossing 50%. Now you have gone to the right doctor, talked about the right product. Now you need to engage the doctor. In H1 versus our aspiration of 18,000 doctor, we are able to engage only 11,000 doctor, which is little low. But I am sure in next H2, we will be able to engage 18,000 doctor. To do that, each medical representative need to engage 5 more doctor every month. And in most of our market, we are market leaders. So patient generation is very, very important. In H1, on an average, each medical representative generated 10 new patients. What you need to do in H2, 15 new patients per medical representative per month. That means for therapy engagement, what we expect you to do, additionally 5 more doctors to be engaged, and additionally 5 more new patients to be generated. In digital coverage, we are very privileged. We have platform like Digital Medical Representative, Healthcare Superstar, Cipla Medflix, no other company in the emerging market can boast of such a beautiful platform. In DMR, our coverage is almost 85% in line to our aspiration. In HHS, on an average, each medical representative is able to register around 25 doctors, and in Cipla Medflix, around 35 doctors per medical representative currently registered. In H2, I think we want to move the bar. In DMR, target 90% of MSL coverage. In HHS, target 35 doctors per medical representative, and Cipla Medflix, we need to hit half century, 50. Now, very important, once you reach the doctor, targeted the right product, engaged him, digitally covered him, the most important part which is in your control is in clinic excellence. Despite multiple training, currently we are spending on an average 1.5 minutes per call inside the doctor's clinic. We want this time to go up to 2 minutes. Very easy to do. Currently, you are promoting on an average 3 products, continue to promote 3 products in depth detailing, and add 2 more products for brand exposure. Now, brand building is very crucial because 70% of our business comes from $23 million brands. In H1, 14 out of 23 million brands have crossed 100%. A big congratulations to all of you who have made this possible. In H2, we want all that $23 million brand to achieve their number. And my special request goes to the Nepal team, because here you can do wonder. Some of your $1 million brands are very close, push a little bit and we can get there. New product is very, very important, and currently our success rate is only 67%. In H2, never settle less than 100%. You have to decide, because in new product we have both mass product as well as class product. So, depending on the product, take the approach. Ensure that in new product you put best of your foot forward. In H1, we have done 43.44 billion, which is 110%, and we are growing at 40%. In H2, our target is just 600,000 more than what we did in H1. So, guys, we have a very exciting incentive offer for you. You can win back if you have missed your H1 incentive or Q2 incentive, and you can earn 130% by achieving 111%. So, in H1, we have done great. Still there are areas where we can improve upon. I ask you again, take a photograph of this slide, keep it with you, ensure that you achieve the parameters, and I am sure you will achieve more than 111%. With this, I wish you all the very best, and I know there will be a session of vote of thanks, but I would like to specifically thank Shruti, Pawan for taking tremendous effort in making this entire program such a beautiful program. Now, I would like to call Shruti and Pawan. Thank you and wish you all the best for H2, and I am sure we will have a rocking financial year 23. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Punendu. This has given us a very clear understanding on how to utilize all our resources, be it medical, marketing, training, SFE or digital.
And not to forget, all the cross-function teams and the country leaders out there are equally playing an important role in everyone's success.
Absolutely. Shruti, do you know what is our next segment?
I think I have forgotten the flow again, and I know you've got me covered.
Absolutely. That's why I'm the host and ghost for today's event. Well, we have the last piece, that is thanking each and everyone out there for joining us today. So, I would like to thank each and everyone who has joined us and gone through this entire event.
Of course, this could not have been possible without the support and active contribution from each one of us. And on that note, I would like to tell you all that please click on the link given in the chat box to know your valuable feedback.
Please do that right away and give your valuable feedback. It was a great pleasure connecting with all of you and hosting this event.
I'm your host and he is your ghost.
And we look forward to seeing you in the next financial year. Till then,
Namaste
from India.